This is a water beam cannon in vanilla Minecraft, and this is ChatGPT made entirely with redstone. These are the best Minecraft discoveries, inventions, achievements, and facts. This player spent the last 14 years walking by foot to Minecraft's Farlands. The Farlands appear in the older versions of the game once you travel about 12.5 million blocks from spawn, where the terrain completely breaks. It was so far away that Notch, Minecraft's creator, once said it would be impossible to reach on foot. Most players would agree. But Kurt J. Mack took that as a challenge. In March 2011, he started his journey called Farlands or Bust. Because he played an old version of Minecraft, there was no sprinting and no nether travel. He had to walk slowly block by block. Along the way, he raised about $500,000 for charity. And on October 4th, 2025, after more than 14 years, Kurt finally reached the Farlands. Notch even tweeted, "Turns out I was wrong about nobody ever walking to Farlands. I'll make the next limit in a game 20% bigger, should be enough." You know how zombies can break doors? Well, it turns out you can actually trick them into breaking almost anything. Right before they finish breaking a door, replace it with another block, and the zombie will keep mining that new block instead. It works with literally any placeable or pushable block, so you can even make a zombie break a netherite block in just a few punches. But it gets crazier. If you replace a door with a shulker box full of items, the zombie will destroy it and none of the items will drop. Or if you break the door and then light a nether portal right where the zombie's breaking, it'll actually break the portal block itself. And finally, if you use a baby zombie to break a door and then light an end portal while it's breaking it, the zombie will break one of the end portal blocks and have an illegal portal. You should never let anyone see your bedrock, and the reason why is way scarier than you think. The bedrock pattern might look completely random, but it's not. The pattern is tied to your world seed, so two worlds with the same seed will have identical bedrock formations, block for block. So if someone gets even a small look at your bedrock in your base, they can use pattern matching software to match that section of bedrock to your exact coordinates. And it's not just the overworld. The nether roof's bedrock works the same way, which means even a small screenshot can expose your location. That's why some servers choose to randomize the bedrock layers, so players can't use seed cracking methods to locate hidden bases. Okay, this is absolutely incredible. Water beam cannons were just invented in Minecraft. You see, when a minecart slams into a block of water, it actually fires a burst of water particles in the direction it's moving. But redstoner Tautsy discovered something way crazier. If you stack multiple minecarts in a single block, they glitch and build up infinite momentum. Once released, they shoot forward in a perfectly straight line forever. And when those minecarts hit water, the splash effect launches out as a super fast water beam. The more minecarts you stack, the stronger the blast becomes. You can even build a static version using a dispenser that releases water when powered on. It instantly fires a beam of water particles outward. The angle and direction can be fine-tuned by adjusting how many minecarts are stacked on each side of the rail. And you can even redirect the beam by placing blocks in its path. With the right setup, you can build a simple sprinkler system or even fully animated water splash effects. You're crouching wrong in Minecraft! Most players think crouching is only useful for not falling off blocks, but it's actually surprisingly overpowered. First, when you MLG, crouching makes your eye level drop by 1/8 of a block. That tiny change gives you more time to place water, a block, or a ladder before you hit the ground. If someone punches you into a cobweb trap, shifting works there too. Crouching lowers your hitbox, which lets you slide out of the cobweb faster. And it gets even crazier in PvP. When using a mace, crouching lets you hit opponents earlier during a slam, catching them off guard. But if someone is trying to mace you, crouching shrinks your hitbox from 1.8 blocks tall to 1.5 blocks, making it slightly harder for them to land the hit at all. Take a look at this stronghold. It's the largest one ever found in the entire game. This thing has layers upon layers of hallways and rooms, totaling 720 rooms, 246 iron doors, 236 wooden doors, and 776 iron bars. It's basically a stone labyrinth. The stronghold was discovered by seed hunter Damn Duck, and to show how ridiculous it is, he dropped his friend into one random room and told him to find the portal. It took 11 minutes just to escape the maze. This isn't a normal stronghold, it's a speedrunner's worst nightmare. This is Minecraft Ultra Flat, and the way it was created is incredible. Every single structure in the world is only one block tall, including the end dimension. It was made by YouTuber Nuba, who took trees, ruined portals, shipwrecks, pillager outposts, even villager houses, and rebuilt all of them as 2D versions of themselves. themselves. Once every structure was flattened, he painted them across the landscape to create a natural-looking world. But this wasn't just decoration. The world had to be beatable. So he built a 2D stronghold, using slabs inside the walls to give each room just a tiny bit of depth. And yes, even the end dimension was flattened, with 1-block-tall obsidian pillars and a paper-thin island. This entire 2D world is absolutely beautiful. Why did a random oak log naturally generate at coordinates 0, 0, 0? This strange bug happens in Minecraft version 1.8.0. Although there's an official bug report about it, it doesn't explain the reason. YouTuber Eliotex investigated the game's code and discovered the cause. When Minecraft generates a large oak tree, it randomly creates branches. However, sometimes the code tries to divide by 0, a calculation that isn't possible. Instead of crashing, the game replaces the branch's position values with 0. As a result, the branch ends up being placed at 0, 0, 0, and it gets even stranger. If you grow large oak trees in the nether or the end, the same thing happens there too. The stray log still appears at 0, 0, 0 in those dimensions. How deep is the void in Minecraft? If you use commands to teleport down, the furthest you can go is negative 20 million blocks. Try teleporting any lower, and the game says invalid position for teleport. You might think that is the limit, but if you watch the debug screen, your Y value keeps dropping, and you keep falling. Commands normally won't let you teleport any further, but YouTuber SPDS modified Minecraft's code to increase the teleport limit and find how far the void really goes. First, he raised the teleport cap to 200 million blocks. Here, the void damage stopped, but he still kept falling. Then he increased the teleport limit to the Java 32-bit integer limit. This was the highest number he could set the code, but even here, he kept falling. Finally, he removed the teleport limit completely by setting the teleport value to 1.0 divided by 0.0. With that trick, he teleported to the 64-bit integer limit. At that point, the void turned blue. Colors broke when in third person, and for the first time, he stopped falling. When he tried teleporting even lower, the game would just crash. So the void goes all the way down to 64-bit integer. Nobody realized you could use villagers as wireless redstone until now! You know how villagers get jobs from workstations like composters or smithing tables? Well, each workstation can only be linked to one villager. Once a villager locks onto it, that slot stays taken, even if they're thousands of blocks away. No other villager can use that workstation unless the original one dies. And that small detail is the key to the craziest redstone trick. Let a villager link to a composter to become a farmer, then take that villager far away, even millions of blocks if you want. When you're ready to trigger your system, just kill that farmer. The workstation slot instantly frees up. Another villager nearby will claim it, and when they start using the composter, an observer detects the update, sending a redstone signal. It's literally wireless redstone powered by villagers. Just make sure you've got an ender pearl stasis chamber nearby to keep the chunk loaded. No, this is the rarest block in Minecraft. To find it, you first have to look inside a woodland mansion, one of the rarest structures in the entire game. Most players guess infested cobblestone. It's true that this block only shows up inside mansions and only in the secret room called the fake end portal room. But that room actually spawns 24 pieces of infested cobblestone at once. Some people say it's the diamond block. And yes, diamond blocks can naturally generate in two mansion rooms, the lava room and the obsidian room, both extremely rare. But they still aren't the rarest. Seed hunter Damn Duck scanned over 100 million woodland mansions and found the rarest naturally generating block is the trapped chest. It appears only once inside that same fake end portal room, and it's the only trapped chest that naturally spawns anywhere in Minecraft. This is absolutely insane. A working projector was just built in vanilla Minecraft, and it runs mini-games too. Thanks to Minecraft's new vibrant visuals, shadows can now be cast from the sun. Most people think the shadows only cast downwards from the sun. However, when the sun is setting, the shadows can actually be cast onto a wall. YouTuber Sit Back in Minecraft took advantage of this by setting the in-game time to sunset and building a massive projector screen. He started with a simple animation of a zombie chasing a villager, but that was just the beginning. Using armor stands and slime blocks, he created a playable minigame where you jump over obstacles. After finishing the full theater setup, the final result looks like an actual in-game projector, and it's genuinely mind-blowing. This is a procedurally walking spider built entirely in vanilla Minecraft, and how it evolved from its first version to the final creation is mind-blowing. At first, it was just a single leg, a test to see the limbs moving towards a point, but that experiment evolved fast. Soon it became a full spider walking across flat ground, and it just kept getting more advanced. The spider was coded to walk up uneven terrain and even walk up pillars with great precision, and if you lead it off an edge, it actually has a falling animation. But it didn't stop there. The creator added gallop mode to let it run quicker, a cloak mode to camouflage it in the environment, and even the ability to change how many legs it has. And to top it off, he turned the spider into a literal robot, all using just block displays. You've probably used ice boats before to move quickly, but even they have limits. Boats on ice still have friction, and if you stop pressing forward, they'll eventually slow down. They also lose speed in water, so friction affects both surfaces. But what about air? If you boost a boat into the air and track its movement every second, you'll notice it never slows down. It keeps moving at a constant speed because there's no friction at all. The only problem is gravity. The boat eventually falls. That's where a Japanese YouTuber discovered something incredible. In Bedrock Edition, bubble columns have a slightly larger hitbox than water itself. This lets a boat float beside the column and still get pushed upward, even when it's not directly in the water. Using this, you can create a frictionless path made entirely of bubble columns. When you boost a boat along it, it'll glide forever without losing speed. On its own, this setup only keeps the boat moving at a constant speed, but with one small change, you can make it accelerate infinitely. Flowing water also has a hitbox that extends slightly beyond its block. By using that property, you can make flowing water push the boat forward, even without touching it. When you combine this with the bubble columns that keep the boat suspended, something incredible happens. The boat floats in midair and keeps accelerating endlessly. It's a frictionless, infinitely speeding boat in survival Minecraft. What's the fastest way to tunnel in Minecraft? If you just mine with an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe, you'll get through 20 blocks in 15.15 seconds. However, Minecraft actually has a hidden 6-tick cooldown between breaking blocks, so every time you break a block, the game makes you wait 6 ticks before you can break the next block. Luckily, you can bypass this slowdown by rebinding your break key to anything on your keyboard, which skips the cooldown entirely. Just doing this gets your time down to 13.25 seconds for 20 blocks. But we can go faster. If you go into crawling mode, you only need to mine half as many blocks to move forward. Combine this with swift sneak leggings, and you can crawl through in 6.5 seconds. But this is nowhere near the fastest. With a haste 2 beacon and a speed potion, you can sprint while insta-mining, which makes the limiting factor just your sprinting speed, which cuts your time to about 2.5 seconds. Most players stop here, but YouTuber Pep took it further. He realized the blocks don't have to be stone. If you tunnel through ice, leash a dolphin behind you, and break the blocks as you go, they turn into water, letting you swim glide through with dolphin's grace. This gets you through 20 blocks in just 1 second, the theoretical fastest possible tunnel. A new world record has just been set for the negative stack of lime wool speedrun. The goal is to reach negative 64 lime wool as fast as possible. The run opens fast. The player loots a village chest, kills a sheep for wool, snags a cactus for green dye, and grabs a furnace. Then he races into a desert temple, digs down to the hidden treasure room, smelts the cactus, loots a bone from a chest, and activates a single piece of buried TNT. Finally comes a wild trick. After crafting lime dye and turning it into a single lime wool, he places it in the chest. At the exact tick he pulls it back out, the TNT blows the chest apart, and the game glitches, turning the item stack negative. He tosses out extra wool to hit negative 64, locking in the new record at 29.486 seconds. There's a way to survive the /kill command in Minecraft. Most players think it's impossible, but this method works in survival mode and even in the latest version of the game. The /kill command is so deadly because, in the code, it deals 2 to the power of 128 damage, which turns into this huge number. The command ignores any armor you're wearing, protection enchantments, and resistance effects. Even a totem of undying can't activate from the command, you just instantly die still. So how do you survive /kill? There's only one way. Jump into the end portal, and when the credits and end poem are playing, your player becomes completely invincible. No matter how many times an admin spams /kill, you won't take any damage at all. This might be the rarest Minecraft structure, a naturally generating tower of chest minecarts stacked on a single block. About a year ago, Chris and Dylan DC set out to make this near impossible find. For it to happen, two structures had to align perfectly. A huge mine shaft with chest minecarts positioned in a vertical column, and a trial chamber's tall air column spawning in the exact same spot, allowing the minecarts to drop and pile on top of each other. The only way to find this was through seed cracking. Since chest placement and structure generation are determined by the numbers in a Minecraft seed, Chris and Dylan wrote custom code to scan over 1 billion seeds. After more than a year of searching, they finally found it. When you use this seed and teleport to these coordinates, 6 minecarts drop and stack, forming what is one of the rarest Minecraft structures ever seen. Have you ever heard this happy Minecraft song before? Well, it actually has a dark twist, and once you know why, it becomes one of the saddest tracks in the game. It's called Tazwell, and it randomly plays in creative mode. The song starts with soft, gentle sounds and a hint of something sad underneath. You hear ticking, static, and little chirping noises that slowly build up, and then the song suddenly turns into a cheerful, upbeat melody. A bright piano plays the main tune, with flutes and a synth choir joining in. It gets bigger and more exciting, almost like a celebration. But near the end, everything fades. The happy music dies down, the choir disappears, and the song ends with quiet static and a fading organ. And here's the sad part. C418, the composer, said that Tazwell was written as a farewell to a friend I only met for a little bit, but they passed away faster than anyone could have imagined. He didn't want the song to remember their death, but the happiness they brought while they were alive. Minecraft Sand has a hidden superpower, but only in Bedrock Edition. Sand is unique because it acts like a normal block when placed, and when it starts falling, it becomes an entity with its own hitbox. In Java Edition, using a windburst mace on falling sand does nothing. But in Bedrock, you can actually hit the falling sand with your mace to launch yourself high into the air. This means you can scale entire walls just by stacking sand and timing your hits. And it doesn't stop at sand. This works with other falling entities too, like anvils and dragon eggs. Remember these Minecraft skins? They're vanishing from servers everywhere, and the reason's kinda sad. Back in the day, skins looked completely different. They wore neon green headphones, checkered hoodies, had flaming arms, and just looked like pro gamers. You can still see them in old Minecraft music videos, like this one with over 30 million views, where every character wore those bright, edgy gamer skins. But somewhere along the way, that style vanished. Now the most popular skins are clean, cute, and minimalistic. If you play multiplayer, you'll notice players with these slick skins are often the PvP sweats. Even in the popular series Parkour Civilization, the guards wore simple, modern skins. What's interesting is how the Minecraft fashion trend mirrors real life. Old logos used to be bold and detailed, like Google's 3D letters or Pepsi's shiny globe. But now, everything's simple and modern, and it seems Minecraft skins have followed that trend. They said bow boosting was dead, but it's not! In older versions of Minecraft, you could shoot yourself with a punch bow to launch forward, just sprint, look straight ahead, and fire an arrow to hit yourself mid-run. But in the 1.9 update, Mojang changed projectile physics. If you shot too low, the arrow wouldn't even count as a hit. Most players thought the technique was fully patched and gave up, but it still works if you do it right. To bow boost now, you need to look about 45 degrees into the air, charge your bow slightly longer than before, just enough so it registers a hit, and release the arrow at the peak of your sprint jump. That timing gives the arrow enough separation to hit you and launch you forward. There's a trick to make your elytra unbreakable. According to the game code, elytras lose durability once every 1 second while gliding. That 1 second timer is the key. If you unequip and re-equip the elytra within that 1 second, it doesn't lose any durability at all. So by quickly right-clicking between a chest plate and your elytra and tapping jump to re-glide each time, you'll see that you can glide around without losing any durability. One of the craziest redstone inventions was just made, and it lets you teleport millions of blocks away just by clicking a menu button. YouTuber Block Locker was experimenting with wireless redstone and noticed something weird. If you put a husk on a pressure plate and then switch your game difficulty to peaceful, the husk instantly despawns, triggering a redstone circuit. But there was a problem. Every time you wanted to reset the machine, you had to catch another hostile mob and trap it inside. So he wondered if anything else changed when you switched difficulties. That's when he found the breakthrough. Dispensers can place a wither skull on soul sand to spawn a wither, but only on easy, normal, or hard mode. On peaceful, dispensers fail to place the skull. So he built a machine that constantly tries to spawn a wither. The dispenser places a skull. A piston instantly breaks it, and the skull drops into a hopper to keep the loop running. As long as the game isn't on peaceful, the circuit stays powered. But the moment you switch to peaceful, the dispenser stops working, the circuit shuts off, and that deactivates the trapdoor, teleporting you back. There's a new way to tell time in Minecraft, and it doesn't use redstone, clock, blocks or commands. It uses a sundial. With the new vibrant visuals, blocks and entities cast shadows based on the sun's position in the sky. One YouTuber set out to build a working sundial in vanilla Minecraft. At first, he used a tall prismarine pillar to cast a shadow onto a full stone circle. But he realized that since the sun is only up for half the day, only half the circle was needed. He placed armor stands at different times to mark where the shadow landed, but the build was bulky until he tried throwing a trident. The trident cast a thin, clean shadow that worked perfectly. Using item frames labeled with the time, a small platform, and a single trident, he built a fully working sundial in just a few blocks. Minecraft Redstone has officially gone too far. Someone just built ChatGPT inside Minecraft using only redstone. YouTuber Sammy Yuri, who once recreated Minecraft inside Minecraft, decided to build a working AI chat system completely out of redstone. The build has a giant keyboard you can type on, and behind it is an enormous redstone machine that acts like the AI's brain. It's so big you can't even see all of it with normal Minecraft render distance, and it really works. If you type something on the keyboard, the redstone machine can generate an answer. It's basically a smaller homemade version of ChatGPT made entirely with Minecraft blocks. The build is so massive that it takes several players just to keep all the chunks loaded. There's one huge drawback though. It's incredibly slow. Running it at normal Minecraft speed would take years to get a single response. That's why Sammy runs it on a special high-performance redstone server called MCHPR, which speeds the game up about 40,000 times. At that speed, the AI can reply in about 2 hours. This is Minecraft, a Minecraft world where everything is 10 times smaller, and creating it was almost impossible. It was made by YouTuber Noober, who started by shrinking all the trees. Then he moved on to village houses, but they looked terrible when scaled down. So he tried something else, block displays. He converted every tree into block displays first, then shrunk them to miniature size. To make them generate naturally, he created a data pack that removed all normal trees and replaced them with tiny ones. But there was a huge problem. Every block display counts as an entity, and thousands of tiny entities lag the world like crazy. So Noober found a solution. Instead of block displays, he used item displays and made a custom texture pack so each item looked like a tiny tree or house. The world stayed smooth and everything shrunk perfectly. You can even punch some mini trees and houses to harvest them, and they drop smaller amounts of resources. And yes, smaller mobs spawn naturally too. Next, he rebuilt the nether at 1/10 the scale, shrinking the ceilings, biomes, and even building a custom mini nether fortress with tiny blazes, magma cubes, and wither skeletons. He then created a mini stronghold, so small it feels claustrophobic, and the end portal only needs 4 frames. Finally, he made the end itself smaller, thin obsidian pillars with crystals on top. But Minecraft doesn't let you shrink the ender dragon using attribute commands. So instead, he made a custom fight. After you kill the dragon, a swarm of tiny end mobs spawns in, and you have to finish them off to beat the game. Have you heard about Minecraft's ghost dimensions? There are actually 4 of them, all discovered by a player named Myren in version 1.12.2. So, Minecraft tracks the player's position with a dimension ID, which tells the game which dimension you're in, and your world reference, which determines what's actually loaded around you. A ghost dimension happens when these two get out of sync. The dimension ID updates, but the world reference doesn't. That mismatch makes the game think you're in one dimension while still rendering another, creating strange, broken hybrid worlds. The first ghost dimension happens when going from the overworld to the end. To trigger it, start in the end and build an update suppressor next to an obsidian spawn platform. This contraption forces so many block updates in one tick that the game overloads. Then, back in the overworld, break the size of an end portal frame and walk through it. The suppressor overloads the game and causes it to skip the code that updates your world reference. Suddenly, you're in a corrupted version of the end with the bottom of the overworld visible, floating cubes of random blocks, and strange patterns everywhere. Every block here is a ghost block. Right-clicking makes it vanish, and placing one fills an entire massive cube with that same block. The second ghost dimension appears when going from the nether to the end with the update suppressor. When you go through, you'll load into the end, but the terrain will be made of nether chunks with the end's purple sky. The third ghost dimension appears when going from the end to the overworld. You have to build update suppressors near your overworld spawn, then start in the end dimension and go through the exit portal. When you return, you'll see a normal overworld, but with chunks from the end scattered across it. Finally, there's a nether to overworld ghost dimension. This one combines all the glitches together. You start in the nether, enter the end ghost dimension, and then go through an end fountain portal again. You'll load into the overworld fused with nether terrain and lighting, creating creating one of the strangest worlds ever seen. In every ghost dimension, all the blocks behave like ghosts, disappearing when interacted with or multiplying in strange patterns. But once you relog, everything goes back to normal, as the world was only a client-side illusion. There's a way to make creepers never explode, and it's weirder than you think. Creepers have been blowing up our bases for over a decade, but now we can finally troll them back. Here's how. If you place a creeper on top of a piston powered by a simple observer clock, it literally can't explode. You can light it with flint and steel, watch it start to hiss, and then nothing happens. It's like it's trying to sneeze but can't. You can even jump into the piston cage with it, and you'll still be completely safe. So why does this happen? In Minecraft's code, a creeper resets its fuse timer every 5 game ticks if it's not touching the ground. Since the piston pushes it upward every 4 ticks, it never actually gets to finish its explosion. This might be the rarest emote in all of Minecraft. Normally, you can unlock emotes by completing in-game achievements or by purchasing them with Minecoins. These emotes can then be played in-game, and it looks super cool. But over the years, tons of emotes have been delisted, which already makes some of them extremely rare. However, this one emote tops them all. You can't unlock this emote through achievements, and you can't even buy it with Minecoins. It's called the Spear emote, and the only way to get it was by gifting a Twitch subscription to a Minecraft streamer during December 2025. The most insane Minecraft seed was just found, and honestly feels unreal. Seed hunters have previously found crazy seeds like this one, where 8 dungeon spawners generated close together, or even this seed where a glitch caused 5 spawners to generate around a buried treasure chest. But this new seed takes it to another level. A different type of dungeon seed has been uncovered, one where spawners can actually generate in a perfectly straight line. So Seed Hunter Chris set out to find the rarest version of this, and he found not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 spawners in a single straight row. What happened to Notch, the creator of Minecraft? Most people think he disappeared after selling the game, but he's actually working on a new game right now. In 2014, Notch sold Minecraft to Microsoft for $2.5 billion, right after he bought a $70 million mansion in Beverly Hills with 8 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, and a full panoramic view of Los Angeles. But even with all that success, he later admitted that having everything made him feel isolated and empty. Notch didn't quit game development though. In 2014, he released a weird experimental game called Cliff Horse, where you run around as a horse pushing a giant ball with no real objective. He also hinted at a Minecraft sequel called Adventureland, but he cancelled it because he wanted to work on something else instead. Today, Notch is working on a new game called Levers and Chess, a dungeon crawler which I think will be similar in concept to Minecraft dungeons, but made by Notch himself. If you grow a jungle tree and let the leaves decay, you'll notice barely any saplings drop. Even with a massive jungle tree, you might not even get back the 4 saplings you used to grow it. Now compare that to a cherry tree. Its leaves drop saplings constantly. So what's going on? Every other tree in Minecraft has a 5% sapling drop rate from decaying leaves, but jungle trees only have a 2.5% sapling drop rate. Even with Fortune 3, other trees jump to a 10% drop rate, while jungle trees are at 4.17%. The most likely reason Mojang made it this way was because the jungle tree was the first large trees added to Minecraft, so they were programmed to drop fewer saplings because they have more leaves than other trees. One of the most game-breaking glitches in Minecraft was just discovered, and it lets you damage players from anywhere in the world. So, in Java Edition, if you throw a trident at the ground and then drop this thrown trident on top of mobs, it won't deal damage again. But if you do the same in Bedrock Edition, this same thrown trident will damage mobs it collides with. Because of this feature, YouTuber Redstone Slime discovered something crazy. He was using a trident to kill mobs in his AFK mob grinder by moving it with pistons when he randomly took damage. He realized that this was because the zombie spawned with Thorn's armor, so the trident hitting it triggered Thorns back at him. Now, here's the crazy part. If your enemy throws a trident at you, you can then use this trident to damage yourself while you're wearing Thorn's armor to deal damage to them from anywhere in the world. The Thorn's damage somehow maintains a connection to the original trident thrower, regardless of how far apart you are, creating an unlimited range attack. Okay, seriously, what does this block do? If you open the creative menu and go to the operator tab, you'll see the command block, but you'll also see 2 strange blocks most players have never used, the structure block and the jigsaw block. So what do they actually do? Structure blocks let you save and load builds. You place 2 of them in opposite corners of your build, give them the same structure name, and hit detect. This creates a perfect bounding box around your structure so you can save it. Now, here's where the jigsaw block comes in. Jigsaw blocks let you create randomly generating rooms. You place them on your structure to mark entry points and exit points. You then build more rooms and give those rooms their own jigsaw blocks that mark entry and exit points. works. Once everything's set up, you can use a single jigsaw block to automatically generate a fully random structure that connects the rooms together based on the entrances and exits you defined with the jigsaw blocks. It's basically Minecraft's built-in dungeon generator. Do you remember Minecraft's Great Potato War? It all started when Technoblade began farming potatoes just to upgrade his armor stats. But after realizing his potato collection was already in the top 50 players, he became obsessed with taking the #1 spot. He expanded his setup with more minion slots and rebuilt his entire farm into a massive potato pyramid for maximum efficiency. But when he checked who was ahead of him, he found his biggest rival, a player named I'm a Squid Kid, who was millions of potatoes ahead. Technoblade calculated it would take over 100 days to catch up and almost gave up. Then he found a flaw. Squid Kid's minions were placed too close together, which didn't matter when he was offline. But when someone was online nearby, they'd occasionally break each other's potatoes. So Technoblade used alt accounts to AFK on Squid Kid's island, secretly slowing his rival's potato production. Squid Kid noticed someone constantly AFKing on his island, but had no idea why. At the same time, Technoblade supercharged his own farm with Catalyst, the strongest fuel in the game, tripling his output to nearly 900,000 potatoes a day. After weeks of grinding, he finally overtook Squid Kid and became the #1 potato farmer in all of Minecraft. When he finally revealed what he'd done, Squid Kid was shocked, realizing Technoblade had been AFKing on his island the entire time. And that's how Technoblade won the first Great Potato War. Minecraft was beaten in just 20 seconds. Yes, you heard that right, 20 seconds. And here's exactly how. This is a tool-assisted speedrun by Dylan DC14, meaning the game was slowed down and executed with frame-perfect precision, pushing Minecraft's mechanics and glitches to its absolute limit. It starts with the perfect set seed. Dylan spawns right next to a ruined portal chest containing obsidian, flint, and steel, and a golden axe of silk touch. Right beside it is a woodland mansion with a fake end portal room. Inside is TNT and a trapped chest holding 2 ender pearls. Dylan takes the pearls, puts them back, and crashes the game. This causes the ender pearls to duplicate, and he repeats his glitch 5 times. While duping, he throws a pearl through a wall to teleport into the next room and builds another portal. Across the hall, he builds a second one. Because he used a pearl to teleport, his hitbox never left a portal block, so the nether timer keeps ticking. Meanwhile, the TNT from the other room explodes and launches wall towards him. He uses it to craft 4 beds. In the nether, he throws a pearl and uses 3 beds as explosives to launch it even farther. While the pearl is mid-flight, he teleports to a blaze spawner, dupes more items, and kills a blaze using another bed explosion. Then uses 1 more bed to kill a ghast and craft an end crystal. He builds a portal that leads straight to the stronghold and enters the end. Before the ender dragon can even spawn, he places the end crystal, instantly triggering the exit portal and cancelling the fight entirely. Then he throws 1 final pearl, boosts it with beds, and lands directly in the exit portal, beating the game in under 20 seconds. Never enchant your items in Minecraft. Instead, enchant blocks. If you enchant your ladders with efficiency, you can climb them at lightning speed. A sharpness enchanted stonecutter actually damages you if you stand on it. Give a dripstone the aimbot enchant, and it will drop a homing spike on anyone who walks beneath it. Enchant a beacon with power, and it turns into a laser turret that shoots nearby mobs. And if you enchant an anvil with density, dropping it creates a massive shockwave. It's ridiculously satisfying. This block enchantment's data pack was made by Macastine. Minecraft mob farms have changed forever! You probably know that dogs in Minecraft can kill mobs and still make them drop loot. That's why they're often used in automatic mob farms. But there's always been one huge problem. Looting enchantments don't apply to their kills, so you're missing out on a ton of extra items. Until now. YouTuber RaiseWorks discovered a trick that gives dogs both XP drops and looting effects when they kill mobs. Here's how it works. When zombies use spears, they charge forward to attack, and that lunge can hit other mobs in the way. By lining things up perfectly, you can have your dog bite the mob first, making it count as your kill, and then the zombie's looting spear finishes it off. This combo makes the mob drop XP and rare loot as if you killed it. The Minecraft Legacy Console Edition Void is really weird. In Java Edition, if you fall into the Void in creative mode, you'll still take damage and eventually die. But in the Legacy Xbox 360 Edition, there's a special setting that lets you become invisible and invulnerable. With it enabled, you can fall endlessly into the Void without ever taking damage. YouTuber /Port wanted to find out how deep the void really goes, so he left his Xbox running and falling for 6 years. Since this version of Minecraft doesn't have commands, he literally just kept falling to try to reach the bottom. After about 5 months, he reached -1 billion, but he was still falling. Then 2 weeks later, something strange happened. His game crashed. He thought it was random, but every time he reloaded his world and reached that same spot, the game crashed again. He realized he had hit some kind of limit. About halfway to the 32-bit integer gap, and he couldn't get past it. No matter what he tried, he kept crashing. But 4 years later, he tried again using an elytra. Since gliding moves at a slightly different speed than falling, it let him slip past the crash point. He hit several more crash points, but each time, he was able to use the elytra to get through them. There were 8 total coordinates where the game would crash. Finally, on October 12, 2024, after 6 years and 7 months of falling, crashing, and troubleshooting, he reached the 32-bit integer limit, the point where Minecraft's coordinate system stopped going further. He could technically keep falling, but the game's map couldn't display the coordinate number any higher. So was at the bottom of the void? Not quite. Using a modding tool, he manually set his position to the 64-bit coordinate limit, and the void still worked. Then he set his coordinate to the largest number the program would let him enter, which was this number here. It's a number so large that it has 309 total digits in it, and even then, the void was still functional. That's the deepest known point in the Minecraft Xbox 360 void. This is the easiest way to kill the Bedrock Wither. Everyone knows a wither is way harder to kill in Bedrock Edition. On Java, it's basically effortless. You just spawn it under the end fountain and it suffocates itself. But in Bedrock, that doesn't work. The wither breaks out every time. Most pro players set up a weird end gateway contraption, using glitches to break the gateway block with a mushroom, and then spawning the wither inside of the end gateway to suffocate it. But now there's a method that's even better, and it works right in the overworld. Here's how. In Java, the bedrock pattern at the bottom of the world is dependent on the world seed, so each seed has its own unique bedrock pattern. But in Bedrock Edition, the pattern is identical in every single seed. That means this exact bedrock formation exists in your world right now. At these coordinates in every world, there's a perfect structure that traps the wither automatically. Clear out the deep slate, build the wither sideways, and it'll suffocate itself into the bedrock and drop a free nether star. But here's the crazy part. There's an even better spot. Just a few blocks away at these coordinates, look for this pattern and spawn the wither sideways exactly like this. And it's far enough that you can spawn multiple withers at the same time and safely farm tons of nether stars right in the overworld. Speedrunners just completely broke Minecraft. The previous any percent world record was around 55 seconds, but now tons of runners are beating it thanks to 2 huge discoveries. In Minecraft 1.12, there is a glitch involving update suppression. Normally, if you use update suppression in the end and enter it, the game can load a strange, mixed version of the end and the overworld. But speedrunners discovered something even more powerful. By setting up update suppression near the obsidian platform, then entering the end portal from the overworld while intentionally lagging the game by increasing render distance and lowering FPS, Minecraft can mistakenly register you entering the end portal twice. When that happens, the game skips loading the end entirely and sends you straight to the end credits, letting speedrunners bypass the dragon fight. That sounds powerful, but there's a big problem. In a 33-second speedrun, how do you have time to build a massive update suppressor made of rails? This is where the second discovery comes in. In 1.12, pro players found that redstone dust itself can act as an update suppressor. By running special observer setups in a separate world, Minecraft's redstone code can be put in a permanently broken state. As long as the game stays open, this broken redstone code affects every world you load, meaning a single piece of redstone dust can replace an entire suppressor machine. With this, the speedrun route becomes insane. On a set seed, runners jump into a ravine and relog to get immunity, letting them survive the fall. They grab an iron sword, kill a witch for redstone, then enter the end, place redstone dust on the obsidian platform, die to an enderman, then return to the overworld and enter the end portal. Right before entering, they spike lag by lowering FPS and increasing render distance. The moment they go through the portal, the update suppression activates. The game thinks the portal was entered twice, and Minecraft instantly jumps to the end credits, letting them get the new any percent Minecraft speedrun world record. Check this out. How is the lava and water mixing? Normally, it should turn into cobblestone, but it doesn't. The key is that lava has 2 states: the source lava block and flowing lava blocks. In the overworld, the lava source block starts at level 8, then subtracts by 2 each block it flows outward. In the nether, it also starts at level 8, but only drops by 1 level per block, so it spreads further. In older versions of Minecraft, there was a weird rule. Lava flow below level 3 or lower would not turn into cobblestone. That meant you could do stuff like place water around the edges of the lava. Even if you placed water on top of the lava, you'd notice that the small lava layers won't turn to cobblestone. However, in 1.16, they changed the code so even the outer layers of lava turn to cobblestone. What's happened to Minecraft Story Mode? If you didn't know, Minecraft Story Mode was an official Minecraft spin-off made by Telltale Games. It followed Jesse and a group of friends who journeyed across the Minecraft world to defeat the Wither thunderstorm, a giant weather corrupted by a command block that was devouring the world. The game was a huge hit when it released in 2015, becoming one of the most popular Minecraft spin-offs ever. But just a few years later, it vanished. So what happened? Well, Minecraft Story Mode wasn't made by Mojang themselves. It was made by Telltale Games. But Telltale was struggling. They were paying massive licensing fees for all their games based on big franchises like Game of Thrones and Batman, and their sales couldn't keep up. To make things worse, Story Mode became one of the most watched playthroughs on YouTube, meaning millions of people just watched the story for free instead of buying it. By 2018, Telltale Games shut down, and Minecraft Story Mode was pulled from stores. And today, you can't officially buy or download it anywhere. This isn't the original Skyblock map. You've been lied to! Almost every YouTuber calls this the original Skyblock, but it's actually version 2.1. Before Skyblock became iconic, it went through several early versions that were almost completely forgotten. The very first Skyblock map was just a 3x3 cube. The top layer was grass, the middle layer was sand, and the bottom layer had 8 stone blocks and 1 coal ore. These were the chest items, and they were tossed in there without much organization. The creator's original idea was to condense the entire Minecraft world into the smallest possible survival challenge, but this version only lasted about 12 hours. After player feedback, the creator realized the stone layer was pointless since you could already make an infinite cobblestone generator. So the bottom layer was removed and replaced with dirt. Next came a slightly larger version that started to resemble Skyblock more closely. It had grass on top, sand in the middle, and dirt on the bottom. It also included water and lava sources placed directly on the island itself. Lava was placed near both the chest and the tree, while water sources were placed in the center of the island. The starter chest was more organized and included buckets and iron. After that, Skyblock evolved into the versions most players recognize and are publicly downloadable. Skyblock 1.0 featured a small dirt and grass island with a single sand block in the middle. Skyblock 1.1 introduced a classic larger layout, but with 3 sand blocks placed in the center of the island. Skyblock 2.0 changed things up by shrinking the main island again and moving the sand to a separate island far away. And finally, Skyblock 2.1, the version almost everyone plays today, features a normal grass and dirt starting island with a separate sand island that you have to bridge out to. Huge thanks to Ida and Noob Crew for researching and documenting the history of Skyblock.